Okay, let's jump in. We're taking a deep dive today into one specific chapter, Leviticus 24.
Right. And the idea is really to unpack the different kinds of instructions you find packed together here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how it mixes these um, really meticulous instructions for worship with some pretty serious legal stuff.
Exactly. It starts with the temple or the tent of meetings, specifically the light inside.
The lamps, yeah. It says they needed clear oil from pressed olives.
That's right. The whole point was keeping the lamps burning continuously, always before the Lord.
And Aaron had a specific job here.
Mm-hmm. He had to tend them, keep them going from evening till morning. It's called a lasting ordinance.
Well, last notice, okay. So, like, forever. For the lamps on that pure gold lampstand.
Precisely. That perpetual light. And then straight after that, you get instructions for the
The
showbread.
bread of the presence, right?
Yeah. Bake 12 loaves using fine flour. It even gives the exact amount.
2/10 of an ephah per loaf.
Mm.
Pretty specific.
Very. And these loaves weren't just, anywhere. They were set in 2 rows, 6 each, on a special pure gold table.
Right there before the Lord. And there was something about incense, too.
Yes, pure incense along each row. The text calls it a memorial portion for the bread.
Like an offering.
An offering made by fire, yeah. And this whole setup, the bread, it was supposed to be done regularly every Sabbath.
On behalf of the Israelites.
Yes.
Like a lasting covenant, it says.
Exactly. But unlike the incense, the bread itself wasn't burned.
Oh, so what happened to it?
It was for Aaron and his sons. They had to eat it in a holy place. It's described as a most holy part of their share from the offerings.
Okay, so a whole cycle. Preparation, presentation, and then the priests consume it in this sacred space.
Right, a rhythm of worship and maintenance, but then, the chapter just pivots.
Yeah, it shifts pretty suddenly, doesn't it? From these detailed rituals to a conflict in the camp.
A fight breaks out. Involves a man whose mother was Israelite, but whose father was Egyptian, and another Israelite man.
And the key thing wasn't just the fight itself, was it?
No, the specific offense was that the son of the Israelite woman blasphemed the name with a curse. That's the serious part.
And the reaction was immediate.
Totally. They brought him straight to Moses, but they didn't act right away. They put him in custody.
Why? To wait.
To wait until the will of the Lord was clear. They needed divine instruction on how to handle this.
And that instruction comes. What was the judgment?
It was severe. Take the blasphemer outside the camp. Everyone who heard the curse had to lay their hands on his head.
And
Then the whole assembly stones him to death.
wow. And this specific case leads to a general law.
Exactly. The text lays it out. Anyone who curses God is responsible. Anyone who blasphemes the name must be put to death by stoning.
And it makes a point about who this applies to.
Yes, explicitly says it applies equally to the alien, the foreigner living among them, and the native born. No distinction for this offense.
That's significant.
Hmm?
And then it lists other laws right after that.
Yeah.
Seems connected.
It does. Laws about life and injury. If you take a human life, you must be put to death.
Okay. What about animals?
If you kill someone's animal, you have to make restitution. It uses the phrase life for life, their meaning an animal life for the animal life taken.
And injuries between people.
That's where you get the famous phrase, whatever he has done must be done to him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he injured, so he is to be injured.
So it restates that difference.
Mhm.
Kill an animal, pay back. Kill a person, you die.
Right. And again, it stresses, same law for the alien and the native born. One standard.
And the chapter wraps up by saying they actually did it.
It does. Moses told the Israelites, they took the man outside and they stoned him, just as commanded. The law was immediately applied.
So you really see this stark contrast in one chapter. On one hand, these careful, almost gentle instructions for worship, maintaining the sacred space.
And on the other, this sudden harsh judgment for blasphemy, leading straight into fundamental laws about life, injury, and justice. Life for life, eye for eye.
It really makes you think about how the text connects maintaining that sacred order with maintaining social order.
Yeah, the disruption of the holy blasphemy gets the ultimate penalty, same as disrupting life itself by killing someone. And then you have these principles, like eye for eye, defining justice for lesser harms.
So as you reflect on this chapter, maybe consider this. What does putting that eye for eye, tooth for tooth principle right here in the context of worship and these severe judgments? Tell us about how justice is being framed. Is it just about retribution, or is there something more, maybe about setting limits within this specific ancient view?